Imagine this. You wake up in a house you don't recognize. The walls are lined with photographs of someone's life. Moments of joy, milestones, heartbreaks, triumphs, a childhood birthday, a first love, a diploma framed neatly on a shelf, a candid shot of a person laughing under city lights. The face in these images looks vaguely familiar. You feel a strange sense of recognition, yet something doesn't add up. Then you walk toward a mirror, and suddenly your stomach tightens. The person in the reflection, it's you, or at least it's someone who looks like you. But as you stare deeper, you realize you have no memory of these moments. You don't remember that birthday, that love, that achievement. These pictures tell the story of a life, but is it yours? Or is it just a collection of moments someone told you to live? Panic creeps in. If you are not the sum of these memories, then who are you? This is not a dream. This is your life, and this is the moment you realize you have never truly known yourself. Most people go through life assuming they are the architects of their own identity. But what if that's a lie? What if the person you think you are, the habits you've formed, the choices you make, even the thoughts in your mind, were never truly yours to begin with? From the moment you were born, a blueprint was handed to you. Your name, your culture, the language you use to think, the beliefs you hold. You were given rules on how to exist, what to value, what to fear. You were taught how to behave, what success looks like, how to love, how to suffer. And without realizing it, you became an actor in a script you never wrote. The scariest part, you never stopped to question it. What if everything you believe about yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your likes and dislikes, is just a collage of expectations from people who shaped you? Your parents, your teachers, society, the invisible hands of culture and history. Are you truly living, or are you just performing? Somewhere deep within you, there's a version of yourself that existed before the world told you who to be, a raw, untamed self. Before the conditioning, before the labels, before the fears took hold. But here's the paradox. The more you try to find yourself, the further you drift. The moment you ask, "Who am I?" your mind scrambles to define it. And yet, every answer feels incomplete, fleeting, contradictory. So, who are you when there's no one left to impress? No standard to meet? No role to play? If you stripped away every label, every expectation, every borrowed belief, what would remain? And more importantly, can you ever escape the prison of who you were told to be? This is where the real journey begins. Because life doesn't begin when you are born. Life begins when you find yourself. But first, you must face the unsettling truth of why you've lost yourself in the first place. You weren't born lost. As a child, you moved through the world unfiltered. You laughed when something was funny. You cried when something hurt. You explored without hesitation, acted on instinct, and spoke your truth without overthinking. Then, something changed. The world started correcting you. Don't do that. Be polite. Sit still. That's not how things are done. You learned that certain behaviors earned praise, while others brought punishment or rejection. So, you adjusted. You became acceptable. Slowly, you carved away the parts of yourself that didn't fit. You suppressed desires that seemed irrational. You silenced opinions that weren't welcomed. You adopted beliefs that weren't yours, but kept you safe. And piece by piece, you built a mask. This is the hidden problem. Before you ever had the chance to find yourself, you were already conditioned to be someone else. Carl Jung called it the shadow self, the part of you that holds everything you were taught to reject. The anger you were told was bad, the dreams you abandoned out of fear, the instincts you buried because they made you wrong. You don't see it, but it's always there, lurking beneath your polite smile, your carefully chosen words, your forced confidence. Have you ever said yes when you wanted to say no? Smiled when you felt empty inside? Pursued something that felt meaningless just because it was expected? That's your shadow at work. Most people don't face their shadow because they're terrified of what they'll find. What if they're not who they thought they were? What if there's something darker, something more chaotic, something unacceptable? So they distract themselves, numbing the discomfort with work, entertainment, relationships, substances. They keep running, hoping the voice in the back of their mind will fade. But here's the truth: you cannot outrun yourself. Friedrich Nietzsche once wrote, "He who fights with monsters should be careful lest he thereby become a monster. And if you gaze long enough into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you." Most people misunderstand this quote. They think it's about external evil. But what if the abyss is your own reflection? To truly find yourself, you must look into the depths of who you are, the good, the bad, the terrifyingly unknown. But doing so means confronting a reality most aren't prepared for. You are not just who you think you are also who you could have been. The version of yourself that never saw the light because it was locked away too soon. The artist who never painted. The leader who never spoke up. The lover who never opened their heart. The wild, untamed self that still lingers beneath the surface, waiting to be acknowledged. And the longer you avoid this confrontation, the more disconnected you become. Philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre argued that identity is not something we are born with, but something we create. Yet, most people never actively shape themselves. They inherit an identity. They become what others expect. Your job title, your social role, your family's approval, the political views you've absorbed, the religion you were handed, the culture that shaped you. But what if you stripped it all away? What if you erased every external label, every assumption, every second-hand belief? Who would remain? This is the question that haunts those on the path to self-discovery. Because the unsettling reality is this: most people would rather live as someone they're not than risk the terror of not knowing who they are. But ignoring the truth doesn't erase it. It only ensures that you will go through life feeling like something is missing without ever knowing what. This is why so many people feel restless, unfulfilled, and lost, even when they have everything they were told they should want. Because deep down, they sense the truth. They are not living as themselves. And if you are not living as yourself, are you truly living at all? But here's the real question. If you've spent your whole life being someone you were told to be, what happens when you try to break free?